Hello everyone, this is Maurice Fernandez speaking to you from the big island of Hawaii, taking you on a little Neptune journey. So, this place is Neptune. It's isolated in the middle of the ocean, the most isolated group of islands, and we're on the flanks of the Kilauea volcano, which has been active since 1983, spilling lava into the ocean and bringing the fire with the water, creating new earth as air combusts. So we're in the only place on earth where the four elements meet, and it's very raw. So Neptune is about the untamed, um, the raw elements of nature, and this is it. So why talk about Neptune? First of all, Neptune is transiting its own sign of Pisces until the year 2025. So we still have a way to go. But this coming months of the end of 2015 and into 2016, we're going to see very dramatic developments with Neptune because it's making very powerful aspects with other planets. So let's explore. Neptune has entered Pisces in 2011, right in April, right after the Fukushima disaster in Japan, which we know was caused by an earthquake, a tidal wave, and the destruction of a nuclear facility that ended up causing tremendous contamination of radioactive material into our food chain, into the Pacific Ocean. One of the worst disasters that we've ever had to deal with. Still, still in process. So this definitely captures the essence of Neptune because Neptune represents what came before human beings could even were here or could think. It's before the rational mind. So this is why Pisces, which is the sign of Neptune, squares Gemini, which is the rational mind. So there's always tension between the rational mind of Gemini and what is beyond reason, what is beyond our own understanding. So Neptune doesn't mean that the world or that life is not reasonable or it's not logical, but it means that because we did not create it, because we're not the one to make the sky blue and the trees green, we don't really know why it is like that. So Gemini is constantly taking notes and naming this is a tree, this is brown, this is blue, making connections and investigating. And what is it investigating? It's investigating the big mystery of Pisces, the vastness of life, what came before, what will be after we all die. It's the primordial life force. And we, with our egos, we're trying to make sense of it. And that's necessary. Otherwise, we'll go crazy. We need to find reason to navigate, Otherwise, we just land here and we don't know what to do. We don't know how it works. The polarity of Pisces is the sign of Virgo. And that's exactly what it's about. How does it work? Virgo is about work. So Virgo and Gemini, they both complete one another, trying to decode the mysteries of life that Pisces represents. So what does that mean that Neptune now is in Pisces? It simply means that there is a return to this original design, to the way life used to be. So as we move forward, as we develop civilization, Neptune says, remember what it's about. Remember why you're here. don't go too fast forward, because what will happen is that if you don't connect with nature, if you don't connect with the essence of life, you will go astray. You'll get lost. And this is why this is a time where human beings need to reconnect with the raw, strip layers, go back to the simplicity, be naked on the beach, return to the raw elements, live, from the land more simply, and get down the skyscrapers, go back to nature. But nature, from a Neptunian point of view, is not just the earth, it's everything. It's the universe. It's this big thing called life. So Neptune is in the oceans, it's in the air, it's on the earth, it's the totality. And as we face the transit of Neptune in the until 2025, we come to reconnect with the raw elements within ourselves, stripping layers and asking ourselves what's true and what's illusion. Are we making up stories? Is our rational mind thinking that it knows everything? So that's when you have a tsunami, that basically blasts your nuclear facility. And you suddenly remember that you don't have that much control, that you don't know that much about life, and that you're that small. So shut up and listen. It humbles you. It makes you understand there are bigger forces, a bigger plan in operation. And it's your role to tune into that, to cooperate with that. Because the way human beings have been operating up to this, recent years, there's an awakening of consciousness. But pretty much human beings have dominated nature. And maybe it's part of evolution to go through that phase, to feel that you're immune, that you're strong, that you're creative, that you can build airplanes and fly to the moon. It's part of our evolution, but at some point, if we forget why we're doing it, where we're coming from, we're not gonna thrive. We're not gonna be successful, because nature is stronger than us. So in this time of Neptune in Pisces, we see an awakening of nature, the return of the raw, the volcanic eruptions, an increase of natural events that, in no time creates so much destruction, and remind us that we are part of something bigger. So Neptune represents the greater truth, the essence of life, the mystery, because we haven't figured it all out. So as we face the vastness of life, Neptune makes us realize that we're not in control. Now, this doesn't mean that control is a bad thing, because frankly, we need to be sane. We'll go crazy if we can't understand, or if we can't have some control in our lives. We'll constantly be swept away by events and flows and waves and drown. So knowing how to harness these energies and having some degree of control is important. But with the transit of Neptune in Pisces, we need to find what's not in our control and accept the greater plan. There's a very, very deep experience with Neptune in Pisces, and that is when we are faced with life and we go through certain experiences. When we look at the day, I woke up this morning and I had a great breakfast, and then I had a phone call and heard that my father fell and hurt himself, and then I realized that my own back pain is getting to me. And then later that day, I had this wonderful conversation with a friend. So, what am I saying? I see all these different pieces of my life, the good stuff, the challenging, sometimes despair, sometimes bliss. We go through so many extremes. And Neptune is asking you, dear, now that you look at all of it, the sum of it all, at the end of the day, are you happy? Is it okay? Does it work for you? So Neptune is about the bigger picture. It's not about this moment or that experience. It's about life, the totality of it. So the question is, at the end of the day, are you happy? Does life work for you? Or are you fighting all the time? Are you against the currents? Do you feel that it's all too much for you? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel that the universe doesn't support you? So, as we ask these existential questions, are we happy at the end of the day? We strip our own layers and we go to the root cause of what really motivates us. Why are we here? And as we do that, we naturally connect with our own nature. As we connect with our own nature and we become more authentic, we make more authentic choices in our lives. We also naturally see that what we need and what we want is what everybody needs and what everybody wants. And Neptune in Pisces dissolves separation, individuality. We see that we're not that different from one another, and it's not just between human beings, it's also between animals. We all want love, we all want security, we all want to be healthy. This, you know, transcends species and individual barriers. So we connect with similar goals and similar needs. And with Neptune in Pisces, this sense of existential well being is not just personal, it's also collective. Remember, for example, when Neptune first got into Pisces, and we had this whole Mayan calendar, um, end of Mayan calendar question, and it was this doom feeling, like something's gonna end, the world may end. And it's not so much that we were afraid that everything's gonna dissolve, but there was this sense of maybe there's gonna be a reset. Once this Mayan calendar ends and there's something else. Neptune looks at life and says, okay, what have we done? 2012. Are we happy? Are we happy with our creation? Are we happy with the way we handle things? And I guess we were not that happy because collectively there was this sense of we're screwed. We are not doing so well. The planet's not doing well. We have too much pollution and species going extinct, and the banking system is not doing so well. So Neptune in Pisces brings this sense of existential difficulty and this need, okay, how can we start again? How can we press that reset button? So during this transit, there's a sense of doom and gloom that we can feel. And at the same time, people want to escape, people want to start over, people want to leave civilization and go back to live in a hut in the middle of the Hawaiian Islands. And other people will play the savior's role. They will become the I have the solution. And many of them will. Some of them will be activists that will, inspire many people. Other people, other will basically use more spiritual knowledge to try to bring a sense of peace. So you can have the emergence of prophets, the emergence of messiahs, and of course false prophets and false messiahs as well. But it's a time of deep questioning. That's the bottom line. And the bottom line is, if we look at all of this, we ask ourselves, so what is the lesson? And the deeper lesson with Neptune in Pisces, as we go through these years of transformation and existential highs and lows, is how can we make peace with life? How can we stop constantly being at odds with life? Maybe happiness is not about just being in a comfortable zone, but maybe happiness is about finding peace in the eye of the storm, not shying away from the challenge, not running away from difficulty, and even accepting life as it is, with its challenges, with its wonders, and with its madness. So try that. Try to make peace with madness and with Monsantos and with crazy people who use the name of God to brutalize others. How can we make peace with insanity? Well, we have 10 years to figure that out, because that's what Neptune in Pisces is about. It's about not trying to rewrite the script. It's about accepting the contract of being here and doing the work, Virgo polarity, doing the work, and not try to run away and abort the process. It's easier said than done. So these coming months, Neptune in Pisces is going to square Saturn in Sagittarius, and it's going to oppose Jupiter in Virgo. I'm laughing because my cat is biting my toe. As you can't see that, but it's a Neptunian out of control situation. Anyway, we have a T-square in the mutable signs, with Neptune in Pisces opposing Jupiter in Virgo, both square Saturn in Sagittarius. And the nodes will also be in Virgo Pisces. So we're moving into this very mutable energy for the next month and until the end of 2016. And then Neptune is going to be in Pisces on the South Node. That's November 2016. So what is this going to be about? Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo is about, what am I here to do? What's the work? How can we increase productivity? Neptune in Pisces is nature and the raw elements and the existential questions. So control, no control, intervention, non-intervention, humans and nature, that whole dichotomy. And we may see during this opposition that there may be times where our efforts, our industries, even our crops, our food will be contaminated, because we'll see that as we tap into these existential questions, we'll see that because we're out of balance, everything on the planet is suffering, including the most basic things such as water and bread. Think of the symbol of Christ, the fish and the bread. So, the basic staple. And Saturn in Sagittarius is about a judgment day. It's about asking ourselves if we are in alignment, if we have integrity. And it is about coming forward with the truth and not manipulations. So people who use spirituality to manipulate the masses, to use religion or use spirituality or use the media to brainwash people. During this transit, there's going to be a major karmic realignment, and many of these people will be exposed and will experience a fall from grace. On the other hand, we may see, like I said, the emergence of teachers, because Saturn in Sag is the teacher. So there's a lot of knowledge and new realization. It's a portal. Think of a portal with a lot of knowledge coming through. And it's a test for us. Are we ready? Do we have integrity? Are we in tune with life and with nature? And if we are not, we're going to be swept away. So if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel that life sometimes is too much for you, the answer is simplify. Go back to the roots. Strip the layers and work from a place that is as pure as possible. And this also means understand it's not about you. There's a bigger picture. So don't take it personally. And connect. Connect with life. Connect with nature. Actually proactively engage to make peace with life, to make it work for you. So I hope this inspires you and it brings a little more clarity. If you have questions or if you want to find out more about this work, the book on Neptune, second edition, will be published the end of 2015, around October. And you can visit my website, mauricefernandez.com. Aloha.